Okay, we're recording. So welcome to our leadership accountability call. This is week 1 out of 8, and we are very excited. Amy and I are going to tag team, and we are just sharing with you what we are learning from our Brooke Hemingway business course. Everyone that completes these 8 weeks, and it is recording, so I'm going to be uploading this as soon as we're done to the YouTube channel, and then I can share it on our IPA chat thread. We're going to do everything in that IPA chat thread. So what's going to happen today, we are going to be sharing homework. Not going to be a lot, but there will be some homework. Amy and I are doing it right along with you. And when we're done, Amy and I will do the same thing. We're going to screenshot our work and put it in the IPA chat thread so that it's an encouragement to all of us, but we also want that accountability. And everyone that completes all 8 weeks and the homework are going to get, and I'll show you, this is a little prize. Actually, I can. Not I can't. Okay? But you got to complete all 8 weeks. And I realize that some of you are not able to do that. That's why we are recording it. But you'll have to watch it, do the homework, and then post it before next Monday night. Okay. So I'm going to give it over to Amy. She's going to open us up with week 1, and then we'll go back and forth.
Okay. If you're decent and presentable, if you could show your face, I would love that. But if you're in bed or whatever, that's fine. Okay. So can you guys hear me okay? Looks like I've got my earbuds in. Okay. So, we're covering two of her lessons actually tonight, because the first one, I'm going to blitz through the first one in like 5 minutes, because honestly, the title of it is I Am Made for This. And really, in so many words, Lisa and I really covered that on Super Saturday. For those of you who were at Super Saturday, and those of you who weren't, we live streamed our team training. So one of your assignments would be, if you weren't with us on Super Saturday, and if you haven't watched our live training from that day, to go back and watch that, because both Lisa and I, we took about 10 to 15 minutes each, and we just kind of shared our hearts and our vision for this. And so, but Brooke, this basically is what Brooke's saying as well. So I'm going to blitz it, but I love the way I love her wording and I love her verbiage. So, so her lesson number 1 for all of you leaders is, I am made for this. We can do this, right? And so she's saying, you know, like what we talked about on Saturday, what we think about expands, right? So what you believe about yourself and what you believe about network marketing will expand. And so we can learn and develop in any way. So wherever you are, whatever gap you have, that is okay. We can grow in that. All of us can grow in that. And so she's saying patience, persistence, and belief are necessities for this network marketing career. For us to be successful, for us to grow in our leadership, we must be patient with ourselves, and we must be persistent and have belief. So she's saying, eliminate the timeline. Live life anyway, stay on the journey, commit to not quitting. So eliminate the timeline. You've got a goal for yourself. That's great. Goals are important. But if you don't hit it, you don't quit, you eliminate the timeline. You just stay on the journey. Okay. There is no timeline on success. This is a profession, a career. Treat it as such. Commit to the long haul. And like we said Saturday, this business is a compensation plan attached to a personal development course, right? Pretty much that's what this is. So her major thing from lesson 1 is, why are you here? You need to dissect that. And that's what we talked a lot about on Saturday, right? Like, what is your why? Why are you doing? Why are we doing what we're doing? Dissect it. Be the best version of yourself. You don't have to be better than somebody else, but you do need to dissect. Why are you here? Why are you doing this? That was her first thing. Her second thing is saying, you need to get a vision. You need to write it down and you need to share it. Okay, so you've got your why, but also your vision, because the truth is we need accountability. Don't keep it secret, and don't self-sabotage by sharing with people who aren't safe. So you share your vision with the safe circle, right? But you share it. You're accountable to somebody. What are your dreams? What are your goals? You need to share them. Okay, the second thing is commit to learning to believe. And this I thought was really, really good. She's like, you can learn confidence, and you can decide to stick with it. And that's what's going to help you last. She's like, likely we all have a gap between our belief in ourselves and in network marketing. We all have that gap. And so we have to actively have an active personal development plan to grow ourselves. That's what this 8-week course is for us. That's why we paid for this. That's why we paid for the Align things. We have to have an active plan to grow ourselves, because we all have a gap between our belief in ourselves and network marketing. Learning will always start with a plan. And so her challenge is commit to 10 minutes a day. My challenge is read 10 pages in a book a day, or listen to a podcast. Commit to learning one thing every day. Okay. She says, we're here for a reason. We have a purpose. Ranks and prizes are not our purpose. They're a vehicle. Those are fun, but those are not our purpose, right? This is a platform for us to live in our giftings. And that was kind of the heartbeat of what I talked about on Saturday, the platform that we have. Okay. And then just really quickly, other challenges she had from the first lesson: don't get stuck in analysis paralysis. Don't get stuck getting ready to get ready. She's saying, take imperfect action. You don't have to be great at it. Your messages don't have to be perfect. You can fumble, you can stumble, but take imperfect action. Be willing to do something. Be willing to send the message. Be willing to do scary things and grow in scary ways. It's better than no action any day. And she says, our brains will try to protect us, so don't let them. They'll try to protect us, so don't listen. You can say, thank you for sharing, but I'm going to do this anyways. Even if it's scary, I'm going to do this anyway. Let go of the idea that you're not good enough and let go of comparison. That's her big overarching theme from lesson 1. We need to create our own business and our own brand and attract those that need you. Keep your blinders on. Your business is yours. And we say that all the time, right? Pray specifically for people who need the products and people who need the business and people who you can minister to, people who you can lead, people who you can love on and add value to. And be you. Don't try to be anybody else. And so there's that delicate dance of being content and enjoying the journey where we're at, but also wanting more and wanting to grow. And so that's her challenge for this whole 8-week course going into it is, I know, I'm sorry, I have to go so fast. We only have 40 minutes, Rach. It's recorded, so we're blitzing. But that's the premise of lesson 1. And really that is what we talked about on Saturday, right? Be committed to staying the course, be committed to growing, really dissect your why. Why are you here? Why are you doing what you're doing? And there's no timeline for success. Comparison destroys contentment. Okay. So that's lesson 1 in a nutshell. I blitzed it because I feel like we covered that so much on Super Saturday. So we'll spend the majority of our time on lesson 2, which was this is where she's starting to kind of get into the meat of things.
Awesome, Amy. Okay, so lesson 2, she's talking about time. And so one thing I want to say, doesn't matter how long you're with Plexus, if you're brand new or if you've been with Plexus for years like we have been, time is still an issue, right? And so this is what you need to write down right now. I am a master of my time. And so this is what she said, this needs to be our thing that we're saying to ourselves, our affirmation, right? Whatever we're saying to ourselves this week, whenever we get that thought, I don't have enough time. How many times have you seen people and they're saying they're busy? Well, I love what Brooke said. Everyone is busy. I wrote that in caps and I underlined it. I don't care if you're a stay-home mother or if you work 3 jobs. Everyone is busy. Everyone has things they have to do. And everyone says at one time or another in their life, I don't have enough time. Most of us say that we don't have enough time. But what if I had all the time that I needed to get everything done in the time that I have? God gave us 24 hours for a reason. If we needed more than 24 hours in a day, guess what? He would have made more than 24 hours in a day. So that's one reason. Whatever activities that we choose, and I love this is totally quotable, and write this down. Whatever activities that you choose will expand to fill the time that you have. For example, and I've been guilty of all these things, Netflix. And you know what? Binging on Netflix for some of our favorite things sometimes, that's totally awesome. Like I'm on a heartland kick, okay, with my family. But we have to make choices sometimes and say, what am I going to do that's going to fill me? And I will tell you that our church is on a fast right now. I know Amy's is too. Lots of people do that in the beginning of the year, whether they're trying to, just come into more alignment in the new year. And when you step away from whatever's been filling your time and you start filling it with other things that are actually beneficial, it changes how you feel on the inside. It actually lets you realize how much time we actually really do have. So when we choose to be intentional and do the right activities in the right time, I love this. We will always get everything done. I'm going to say that again. And what I will also do is type out some of these quotes. For some of you guys that are brainiacs and you want to write everything down, Amy's an awesome note taker, so I'm usually poking her arm when we are in a class together. But this right here is worth writing this down. When we choose to be intentional and do the right activities in the right time, we will always get everything done. And so basically, in a nutshell, it's cut out the fluff. That's what Brooke says. Cut out all of the fluff. Everything that is extra, let's get it out of our life. Anything that's not needful, that is not going to fill us, that is not going to, and this can be with our family, with our spiritual life, but obviously specifically tonight we're talking about plexus. Whatever is going to be the extracurricular activities, get out the extra that you don't need. What are you doing that is wasting time? So we fill our time with videos, with podcasts, and I'm going to tell you that one of the things that I've been doing the last few months is I've been listening to podcasts. So find podcasts, and Amy referenced this, find podcasts that fill you, that will encourage you spiritually, that will encourage you, motivational podcasts. Whatever you struggle with, find a podcast by someone that you trust that will then fill you in that area, right? So if it's belief that you can do all things through Christ. If you need to have belief that, you can learn something new, well, you can learn something new. Dr. Caroline Leaf has written Switch on Your Brain. I would highly, highly recommend listening to her podcast. So I can screenshot some of my podcasts. That's super easy. And I can put those in there. Amy can do the same thing. We can share podcasts. That's honestly one of the ways that I grow. Reading 10 pages a day, in a book that Amy had said. So any of those things, but fill yourself up with those things. So there are 3 questions that I'm going to ask you. And then this is going to be part of your homework. Okay. People that are successful continue to do the things that work. People that are not successful will continue doing things that don't work, right? So that's insanity when you continue doing the thing that is not working and you do it over and over and over again. But the people that are successful in business and in life, if you look at their life and you look what they're doing, so if it's in finances, find someone that's good in finances and follow what they're doing. If it's a spiritual thing in your life that you need, find someone that is in a place that you want to be spiritually and follow them. And it's like that with plexus. Find someone that you can go, I want to be like that, and do what they do. So do something different than what you've done. You need to get different results. These are the 3 questions. Again, we're going to type out some of these things so that you can have them. Number 1, for self-awareness, and this is kind of like brain dumping. So we want to put a plug in for this. Remember, Megan had these done. We've shown you these guys, and a lot of you guys have bought these for $20 from Megan, but it's free downloadable on One Team and on ours as well. Megan had her assistant do them, okay? She has made a brain dump, and actually this is actually off of what Brooke Hemingway did. But every week we have a brain dump, and so what we're going to do right here is a brain dump thing. Number 1, be aware of what I do for a time. So this is where we have to be brutally honest and list out in a notebook, doesn't matter what it looks like, what kind of notebook, right? Everything that you do in a day. Okay, kind of like we sometimes we give so much attention when we need to with a food journal, and we're writing out everything we eat. And then when you do that, you go, oh my word, I'm really eating XYZ. Maybe I'm eating too many calories or too much junk food. So it's the same way with our time. So in this first exercise, you're going to brain dump and write out everything that you do during the day. Then I want you to go back with a highlighter, and you're going to highlight those things that 3 to 5 or 5 to 6 activities, not 3 to 5, 5 to 6 activities that you need to do. These will be similar to what we call the rocks. Brooke Hemingway has referenced that. What are those things that you need to do? And, work, you got to work. Okay. So that's one of those things. If you have a job outside of plexus. So you're going to go through and highlight those things. Number 2. So number 1 is just everything you do in the day. Number 2 is in regards to your social media. Now, if you have an iPhone, and I know an Android, I think you can do the same thing. You can look and see how many hours now that you actually spend on your phone. So that's a good way. If you do scrolling Facebook, or hopefully you're working your business through, if you're doing your phone, you can do that, right? But number 2 is social media. This is a social media brain dump. How much time am I taking scrolling? How much time am I spending? Be honest with this stuff, because what happens when we write down what we want to say, it's not going to change our actions. Honesty is what will change our actions, an honest look at what we're doing. And if I'm honest, many of the times that I have spent over the last 4.5 years, I've had to continually correct myself because I will want to comment and engage and add value. But in doing that, at when I'm tired sometimes, I don't know if anybody else has done that. It's like mindless scrolling. Well, guess what? That's not putting any money in your bank account. It's not really adding value to anybody, right? It's mindless. It's not doing anything. Write that down. How much time? She said this one thing, I love this. If I limit my time, I will be, and I'm like, okay, if this is true, we've got to make sure we get this, right? If we limit our time on social media, we will be massively successful. Because when we limit our time on social media, we're going to, and we'll talk about that, we're going to time block so that we'll be able to go, okay, I'm going to put the timer on and I'm going to be able to get this done. Bang, 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 and get that out. Not everybody operates that way, right? Some people, it'll stress them out by doing that. But again, this is brain dumping. We're going to be aware of what we do, number one, just in general in our day. Number two, social media. It's like taking a personal inventory, okay? Release that fear that if I'm not on my phone enough or I'm not on social media enough, I'm going to be left out. And Amy and I felt like we were talking about that today. Earlier on in our businesses, I felt like if I didn't engage every day, 7 days a week, I was going to miss out, whether it was through Megan, our large one team, or through just with our team. I felt like, oh my gosh, either I'm not helping someone or I'm missing out. That's just not true. Like, you get caught up, but you got to be able to assess where you're at and take a time of rest. But release that fear, okay? So that you're limiting your time on social media is fine. The world was fine way before social media was ever invented. It's going to be fine for us to take a break and limit our time. Number three, brain dumping. Okay, so you're doing all the stuff you're doing, your social media. And number three, write down the things that you're avoiding. I have avoided things so much in my life. Write them down and don't be afraid. And this is going to take a little bit of time. Like, we're not going to be able to just sit here, and if you're going to truly be honest, usually it requires us to have what we call white space, right? Whatever you call it. If you can do it with music playing or with absolute quiet, maybe it's first thing in the morning or at night, but you're going to have to take a little bit of time to do this. But what are you avoiding? Write them down, because if you don't write them down, then you're going to continue avoiding them. So in regards to your business, a lot of times it is reaching out to that person that you're scared to reach out to. So we go do something else. We reach out to someone else, or we go do the laundry, or we go do this, when in reality, if you just do it and get it done, it's off your mind and it's a relief. Okay? So that can be anything. But when we do this, it empowers us to continue working towards that goal and to be successful. Okay, so that's my first portion, and I will write all that stuff out so that right there is going to be the main part of your homework. Okay, got it, Amy? Take it.
And so when we're off this, Lisa will put that in the IPA thread. Like, it's basically 3 things we're to write out for homework, and really awareness is half the battle, right? For all of us. And I feel like we always need to be assessing and reassessing, like, what am I actually filling my time with? What am I actually doing? And so in our IPA thread, that's where we'll say, like, you can either screenshot, like, your brain dump, like, I brain dump my day every single day, but that's how my brain works. Like, that IPA journal, or the gratitude journal that Megan gave us, it's literally broken up into half-hour increments throughout the day. So my day is really allotted in half-hour increments, and I try to stick pretty strictly to it. Even like drive to piano. Piano is 10:30 to 11. Then I drive home. Then I have lunch. You know what I mean? Like, that's how my brain works. And then I know in my morning is my heavy load of IPA time. And so I know from 6 to 6:30, this is what I'm doing. And then at 6:30, I'm done and I'm getting the kids ready for school. Like, that's just how my brain works. But essentially, her journal is an everyday brain dump. And then you can look at it and be like, where did the day go? Oh my word. That's where the day went. Do you know what I mean? So, but anyways, that's what we'll put in our chat, right? And so we can see with each other, and we can also get ideas from each other too. What's working, what's not working, so it's the whole accountability together, right? Okay. So that was the first part of her thing, is like, awareness is half the battle. So you need to know where your time is going. You need to identify 5 to 6 things of, like, these are the necessities. These are the 5 or 6 rocks that are non-negotiables. And for you, it might have nothing to do with plexus. Do you know what I mean? Your non-negotiable is, I'm going to have supper with my family around the table every night, whatever. But, 5 or 6 non-negotiables. And then you do the nooks and crannies after you do your huge non-negotiables, right? So that's what she's talking, eliminate the fluff, get to the core. Awareness is half the battle. So then she says, now I want to talk about a really huge time waster for leaders. And so this resonated with me. and so wherever you're at with where you're at in Plexus, where your brain's at, where you have, if you've got 1 or 2 people on your team or 10 or 15 people on your team, she says huge time wasters are leaders working with people who don't actually want it. So she's like, we cannot save everybody. We cannot help everybody be successful. Not everybody is going to want it. And so I am of the camp of, I want everybody to play with me. And she's like, it's not the way it is. It's not the way, people who actually want it. If this is the case, if my goal is to make sure that everybody, whatever, she's like, the people who actually want it are going to get a whole lot less of me. And so a good leader really focuses on the people who actually want it, you guys who are going to be here Monday nights, and you get more time because otherwise time is money, right? So, we can spread ourselves thin trying to help everyone. And when we do that, we actually help nobody. So it's that awareness of who actually wants it and who doesn't really want it. And we can't save everybody, and not everybody's going to want it. We're not responsible for anyone's success but ourselves. And so she asked herself 3 questions. She says, we're called to love, to provide resources, to bring up the best, to invite everybody. But we're called to work with the people who deserve our time and attention, the people who want it. We can't save everyone. So identify who is worthy of your time and coaching. How do you identify that? She's like, I asked the 3 questions. I asked them, do you want this? And then I asked them again, are you sure? Do you really want it? So that's the first question. The second one is, are they coachable? Like if you say, okay, if you want this, go and do this. Do they do it? Are they excited about it? Are they willing to be coachable? And number 3, do they have motivation? Are they eager? Do they have that inner drive? Do they want to grow? And if they don't, you can only handhold for so long. You can only drag them for so long before you kind of have to be like, okay, I still love you. You're still welcome. I will still invite you to everything. But if you don't want it, I'm going to focus my time on my people who really do want it. And this is the big thing. And this was what's the word? Conviction to me. She's like, speed does not determine success. So she's like, your goal, often we can think, I got to find my rock star. I got to find my rock star that will skyrocket me to the top. She's like, that is not the only way to be successful. And that should not be our main focus. She's like, if you have people who are dedicated, consistent, slow growing, they have grit, they're committed, they're staying the course, as long as they are showing up, those are the people you invest in. And let me tell you, because I don't see all of your faces, but little Libby Nilsson, she is a perfect example of this. She is faithful. She shows up every single day, and she is seeing fruit, even though there's many seasons where she's not, but she's steady Eddie. And so I just like, those are the people that you invest in. And when you see the end of the year reports that Jake showed us, Libby, you're on them. You're on the top of the charts for every single report, but she's quiet and she's faithful. Do you know what I mean? So she's like, and don't forget all the people that you already have. Don't forget the people that are just showing up. Each person can develop. So, if they're dedicated, if they're consistent, if they're loyal, invest in them. They don't have to be like this crazy rock star, but if they want it, that's who you invest in. Okay. So speed doesn't determine your success. I think that's really important. And then she gives 2 tools to help us manage our time better. So the first one is, she says, if we can always have in the forefront of our mind, good, better, best. So when you're time blocking or when you're spending your time doing your things, is this good? Is this better? Is this best? She's like, stop crash landing into your day. That's why we brain dumped the night before. But she's like, when you have that time, if you've got like 30 minutes or 15 minutes, she's like, focus on the good, better, best, because very few things will actually move the needle forward in your business. So some things are good. Making a post is good. Having a little conversation is better. Maybe really sending out a message to your person who's on your chicken list, who you think would just be such an awesome rock star. Maybe that's best, whatever. But she's like, these are the things that move your needle forward. Meeting new people, conversations, IPA, Zoom calls like this, events, posting, working with the leaders on your team. Those are the best blocks. Those are the things that move the needle forward. So just be aware, like, it's scrolling, maybe that's good. Commenting on people's posts, better. Messaging people, best. So just kind of have that. So that's the first thing. And then the second thing, which we talked about earlier, is the time blocking. Because whatever activity we do will fill that time, right? And she's like, scientifically, no more than 50 to 90-minute blocks of time. After that, we get brain fatigue. But even if you have 15 minutes, 15 minutes every day, if especially if you're new and if you're kind of overwhelmed with the whole idea or life is stressful, if you spent 15 minutes a day and you were super serious about that 15 minutes and you didn't get a snack and you didn't go pee and you weren't getting your kids a snack and you weren't multitasking, having a conversation with your hubby, if you spent literally those 15 minutes were focused 15 minutes with no distractions, very, very intentional, you'd be shocked at what you could get done. And so that's her challenge. Whatever your time blocking availability is, set it and then be ruthless with it. So those were her 2 things, 2 tools to manage your time better. And then she said 3 areas where people fail to time block were self-care, family time, and downtime. So she's like, our life is not all about business, right? And so I think there's a balance there. I think some of us can tend toward workaholism and some of us can tend toward your boundaries are so good that you're not actually doing any work because you know what I mean? So there's that balance, but it's a necessity to time block in self-care, whatever that looks like for you, family time and downtime. Because if our goal is time freedom and financial freedom, then we need to live like it is that freedom, right? That's why, like, if we go on vacation, like if I really do this for time freedom, then I shouldn't be working my business on vacation. What does that show people? You have to work when you go on vacation. That's that whole rest equals trust, right? Not being married to your phone, not living on your phone. If we actually trust our team, trust that this is the Lord's business. Okay, we want joy in our life, not just success in our business. That balance, that alignment that she talks about all the time. Okay, what do you got, Lise? Where are we at for time?
Well, we probably have less than 10 minutes, like maybe 9, but I wanted to share quickly about Plexus Perks. So how many of you guys know about Plexus Perks? You see it in your back office. We've received emails. Amy and I were just able to watch a video on the Jewels of Excellence, which is a page for when you get to be jewels, you're kind of privy to some information from the diamonds and some good stuff. So quickly, I just wanted to share that the Plexus Perks is something that's going to really help us. Number one, all the people that are on our teams, all of us, as you guys have noticed, we are earning, it's basically free products for all, but it has to come through your subscription. So what you need to do, those of you that have a team, you should go through your reports. We're running out of time. We've got less than 10 minutes. Sorry, just had a little reminder here. Okay. If you go through your reports, and we can do like a little screenshot, there's a section where it's the perks report, and you'll be able to see your people that need help, those people that are going to be running out, and they have little numbers beside them. And so we can also craft a little message that would help you to be able to share with them, because we don't want people to lose their Plexus Perks. I've had people that have lost their Plexus Perk because I was not on that, to be able to share with them, hey, you've got 400 perks. It's free product. You want to be able to use that. And if they don't use it, they lose it. So that's something that we need to be able to do, and we need to be on it. And so for me, first thing tomorrow morning, I'm going to start doing that. And that's very, very easy to do that. It's under, if you go in your back office under My Business, you click My Business, then you're going to click Perks Report. And then you're going to see Ambassadors at Risk. And you're looking for people, even if they have less than 100 PV, all of that adds up to free, when they're ordering, it's going to add up to free perks. So you want to be able to let them know so that they can get their subscription on up to 100 and be able to use their perks and get their subscription up. Does that make sense?
A lot of people don't even know about this perks program, even though they have emails, right, and I've posted on the team page and threads a gazillion times. They right, just don't. They're not aware that we are. And so what that perks report's going to show you, you're going to look for the people who have the numbers 1, 2, and 3 beside them. That shows you what you're getting is a list of people who've changed their subscriptions in the past 40 days. If they've got a 0 beside them, it means they changed their subscription, but they're fine. It's over 100. If they've got a number 3 beside them, then that means they have 3 days to
right,
fix their subscription, or they'll lose their perks. If they've got a 2, that means they've got 2 days. If they've got a 1, it means they have 1 day. So you want to look at that every day. And you want to message those people when they're at the 3-day mark, so that you're not messaging them at the 1-day mark. And you're like, oh my word, you have to fix it today or you're going to lose. I had a girl on my team who lost 500 perks last week. I voice messaged her. She didn't check messages for days, and she's super upset. And so, you know what I mean? They expire. They expire as soon as you shut off your subscription. They'll grow and grow and grow and grow and grow. But if you change your subscription, if you shut it off or change it to under 100 PV, they lose them all. But they have 3 days to fix it, to set their subscription back to 100. And so, I mean, some people now have upwards of 500 and 600 perks. So it's good customer service, and it's good conversation, good relationship building too, just to take care of our people. So that should be part of your daily IPA every single day.
Yes, definitely. So who's excited to do brain dumping and be honest with ourselves this week? That's what I'm actually going to do tonight, right before I go to bed. I'm going to do all of this. I'm going to screenshot. It's not going to be real pretty and great. I'm going to write down what we're going to be doing. I'm going to screenshot it and put it right in our IPA chat thread. So what we need to do is, I think it'd be great if we would just do share like a little screenshot of what just take a snapshot of it. This is my brain. This is what these 3 things are for our own accountability. I'm going to do it. Amy's going to do it. And I want to be held accountable. And I think that's how we grow. So I know that it felt like drinking out of a fire hydrant because we did 2. Amy and I are getting together again this week. Next Monday, even though we know it's a holiday, we're going to continue. We're going to have it again next week. We want to be consistent. We have 7 more of these. And again, we are recording them. So we're excited. Anything else, Amy?
No, I think it's good. I think like if you want to rewatch this too, because we tried to like 2 lessons on you from Brooke, but the whole premise, like if you have people on your team who, I mean, this is about Plexus, but it's really about leadership and it's about personal growth. Do you know what I mean? So if you have people who think, just say, come grow with me, come learn with me. Let's get better together. Let's challenge each other to grow. You know what I mean? And their 5 big rocks may have nothing to do with Plexus right now. You know what I mean? They're 5 big rocks, but just awareness of how we spend our time, I think is huge and super. I think that's good. So anyways, we love you guys and proud of you guys for hopping on.
Yes. Thank you so much. Okay. All right, guys. Well, we love you. Have a good week. And I'm going to be posting everything in a little bit on the chat thread. Thanks for joining.